Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we're continuing our review series from Forge in the Barrens, and today we're taking a look at the Warlock cards, again rating on a 5-star basis, with 5-star being a god tier card, 1-star being unplayable trash you would hate to put in your deck. So let's get going. Let's take a look and review in both Standard and Wild all of the Warlock cards from Forge in the Barrens. So first, starting off, we have Altar of Fire, 1 mana spell, destroy the top 3 cards of each deck. So this whole expansion, there's like this Warlock self-mill strategy, which I think has 0% chance of working out. It seems absolutely terrible, and well, Altar of Fire is a part of this. I mean, it's 1 mana, destroy 3 cards. If it was your opponent's, it'd be insane, but you're destroying your own, so the upside of destroying your own deck has to be good enough to make this warranted running, because on average, destroying 3 cards from your opponent's deck doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things, especially if they're playing something aggressive, something like that. It just doesn't really matter. If they're playing a slow control-y type deck, this type of strategy can be good. But overall, I don't know, maybe this is run as like a tech, if it's like a really control combo heavy meta, which never has ever existed. I gotta give this a 1 in Standard. This card just seems really awful. And in 1 in Wild, where you have better mill options. You have Gnome-Feratu, you have Ticketus. You're not gonna waste your time with Altar of Fire as like a tech option. Maybe Discovered or something, but yeah, really bad card. Next, we have Grimoire of Sacrifice, 1 mana shadow spell, destroy a friendly minion, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So good self-sacrificing type of AoE. Warlock is losing a lot of its good AoE. They don't have Dark Skies. They don't have Plague of Flames. Like, they're losing a good amount of stuff. Is this a good replacement? It's not fantastic. You don't have like the Warlock Galakron to give you those imps to sacrifice. Nerubian Egg is back in the core set, and there's some like imp stuff you can do. But overall, it's going to be hard to find good stuff to kill off in a slower deck. I feel like you're going to rely on like the Soul Fragment AoEs or like the Demon AoE. There's a 4-drop that does an AoE. I don't think it sees that much play, but if there's more stuff given to Warlock that you kind of want to sacrifice, I think it might be worth it. But as it stands, I'm going to give it a 2 stars in Standard, and I'll give it a 2 in Wild, because there is a good amount of self-sacrificing stuff. But I mentioned a lot of really good AoEs that are just better than this without really needing much more. Like, are you going to run this or Plague of Flames? Like, think about that. Next, we have Apothecary's Caravan, 2 mana, 1/3, yet another one of these terrible start of your turn Caravan cards. This one has the upside of summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. Wow, you can cheat out Flame Imp and not take the Battlecry damage from it. This is just unbelievably bad. I don't even know what 1-drops you really want to cheat out. This is just one of the worst cards of the expansion, probably the worst card. Maybe we'll make a list on that soon. I'm going to give this a 1 in Standard and Wild. You're never playing this card in any deck ever. I would be completely shocked if I'm ever wrong about that one. Next, we have Imp Swarm, 2 mana Fell spell. It's the rank spell. Summon a 3/2 Imp for 2 mana. And at 5 mana, you get 2 Imps. And at 10 mana, you get 3 Imps. A 2 mana 3/2 Imp sucks. Getting 2 Imps is not very good. And getting 3 Imps in the late game does nothing. This card is absolute trash. I don't know what is this strategy supposed to go into? Some kind of weird zoo Grimoire of Sacrifice Warlock. Like, I don't know what this card is supposed to do. It's not like there's Darkest Hour in Standard, and even with Darkest Hour, this card is not phenomenal. Maybe you can make it work in Wild with that, but it's just awful. I'm gonna give this a 1 again in Standard. I don't know what you're doing with this, and in Wild, you do have Darkest Hour, so maybe you make it work with that because it's relatively cheap, and you get 2 whole imps, and then you cheat out 2 whole things. Probably not worth it. But I'll give it a 2 in Wild for that very fringe reason. Next, we have Blood Shard Bristleback, 3 mana, 3/3 lifesteal minion. Battlecry, if your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion. So this is the start of getting the benefit of milling your deck. So this will get you like 6 healing immediately, and if it takes any damage or deals damage, it'll get you like 3 more. So it could be like 9 lifesteal, but as a curve play, it's terrible. It's a 3/3 with lifesteal. It's a Twilight of Agony. It's just awful. The downside has to be worth it, and I don't see all I see with Warlock going forward is like either a Soul Fragment strategy with like Yashiraj, Ticketus, and Jiraxis, something like that, or a Zoo strategy. This doesn't really fit into either one, because you have to think about it. If you're playing Soul Fragments, you're putting cards in your deck, making this less likely to be active. You really do need to play that self-mill deck, which I just think is going to be unbelievably bad, because guess what? You can't control what you mill. You mill your upside of Blood Shard Bristleback. It's terrible. And spoiler alert on the other reward cards, they're not great either. I'm going to give this a 2. It's not a horrendous card standalone, but again, I don't think it's going to see meta play. And in Wild where you can discard your entire deck really quickly with like a Hemet or whatever insane card draw synergies you have. Still don't think it makes the cut, so I'll give it a 2 in Wild, but maybe in like some Mechathune Warlock deck it's worth running since you draw so quickly. Next we have Cabal Outfitter, 3 mana 3/3 minion Battlecry Death Rattle. Give another friendly minion +1/+1. So it's like a Shattered Sun Cleric, except you get 2 upsides of it, but neither are targeted. It's a decent Zoo minion, but I feel like Zoo is pretty strong. It's pretty tight. It's not losing a lot. And this minion, I don't know if it really fits in there. I'd rather play the Mana Disruption card or something like that. It's not bad by any means. It's pretty decent. I just think those mid-range Zoo strategies already have better cards. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 2 in Standard and Wild, just because, again, it's decent, but I feel like Zoo is just not going to have room for it. But I could definitely be wrong, because effectively it is a 3 mana 5/5. It's just the untargeted nature of it and the relative slowness of it. I don't know if it's quite enough. Next, we have the Warlock legendary Tamsin Roam. 3 mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0. So yeah, shadow spells. We saw Grimoire of Sacrifice earlier. It's pretty good, but we also have plenty of good shadow spells in Standard, and there are some incredible ones in Wild. Just getting like 1 extra spell is really good, and you can save it for later. It'll cost 0 later, like a Drain Soul and buff. Again, really good. You could combo with Moarg, something like that. This card's incredibly powerful, like just to get that flexibility, and you have to kill it. So you leave this on board, it's going to snowball, right? You can play more spells. The 0 mana spells don't count. They can't get more of them. You can't chain it that way, but just incredible. And in Wild, this might be absolutely busted when you have cards like Power Overwhelming, which are shadow cards. You have cards like Dark Bomb. It can do insane amount of damage. You can maybe do some combo stuff with this, but Dark Lair Warlock could throw this in for even more reach. So yeah, in Standard, it's a 4-star card. In Wild, I think it's a 4-star card as well. It's really close to being on that 5-star basis, but really strong legendary minion. It will definitely see a lot of play. Next, we have Soul Rend, 4 mana shadow spell. You can copy this one. Deal 5 damage to all minions. Destroy a card in your deck for each killed. Well, if you want to delete your deck, just play this against any aggressive token-based deck. You're going to accomplish that. Combo that with Tamsin somehow. Don't kill her off. You'll also combo that. Is that good? No, it's bad, because again, the upsides of your deck being milled are just not that great. And yes, this is really incredible cheap AoE that basically clears anything, but when you're going to clear your win condition, I just can't justify it. I'm giving this a 1 in Standard and Wild. I just don't see how you're ever playing the self-mill Warlock. It seems unbelievably bad. So let's just get into the legendary minion. Niru Fireblade, 5 mana 5/5 Battlecry. If your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn. It's important to note this portal will refill at the beginning of your turn, not at the end of your opponent's turn as well. So they can actually clear it. And yes, your deck needs to be empty, so you're going to be fatiguing. There's no way to really put cards into your deck as it stands. And you're getting a bunch of imps that can be frozen or just cleared, and then since your board's full, you can't really, proactively initiate things. You can't play minions on your, it's just awful. It's awful. You have to mill your whole deck for this to be a bad Nomi. You haven't seen lately, Nomi's not been particularly great, and again, you have to mill your deck. What are the odds you're not going to mill Nero? Are you going to wait till you draw your mill cards before you do that? Well, that doesn't really help with Soul Rend, which you need to play to stay alive. So I can't justify this card. It's a 1 in Standard and Wild. It's just awful. And we'll leave off with Barrens Scavenger, the 6 mana 6/6 taunt, costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards. Again, in this milling strategy, it's probably like the best payoff card of all of them. It's either the Lifesteal guy or this, not Nero. Nero's just bad. And again, it's just not gonna be worth it. This self-mill thing, are you gonna mill Barrens and then you don't have your Barrens or Nero or your life's like, you're milling so many cards with these cards, like it's not a reality. And as a result, I gotta give it a 1 in Standard and Wild as well. I hope I'm wrong about this, that Blizzard has some idea what they're doing. But again, do you really want a deck that's around deleting your opponent's cards too to be good? Wait, they made Ticketus, so maybe they do. I don't know. It just seems awful. And yeah, I don't really recommend trying out this archetype too quickly. Let somebody else do it and then see if it's a complete disaster, as a lot of us think it is. So there you go. Those are the Warlock cards. The self-milling stuff seems absolutely terrible, but Zoolock still seems like it'll be pretty good. And we do have like this control package with like Ticketus, Jiraxis getting buffed to we hero card is really strong. Warlock, I think, will be fine. It's just this whole self-milling archetype is just really, really bad. But I don't think Warlock will be dumpster tier. I think a lot of the good stuff will carry forward. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think self-mill Warlock is as bad as I think? If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.